Hey there, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are going to completely deconstruct the psychological roots of your inaction. We're talking about that incredibly frustrating feeling where you have these big dreams, massive ambitions, and totally clear visions of success, but somehow you find yourself completely frozen when it actually comes time to do the work. Sound familiar? Well, over the next few minutes, we're going to break down the exact blueprint you need to stop dreaming, get out of your own way, and finally start executing. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's kick things off by asking a really hard, honestly kind of uncomfortable question. Why are you so ambitious, yet entirely stuck? Seriously, why do you freeze when it's finally time to put your head down and do the work, even though you know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are capable of so much more? I mean, you aren't lacking intelligence, you've got great ideas, and you certainly aren't lacking talent. Yet, when the moment comes to just begin, you can't seem to make yourself move.
The thing is, there's this really painful gap between your imagination and your reality. On one hand, you've got the dream. It's full of your high potential, your massive goals, and that fantastic, crystal clear vision of where you want to be in 5 years. And then there's the reality. Endless scrolling, freezing up, and basically making yourself comfortable right inside that gap. You might even trick yourself into feeling productive by spending 3 hours organizing a beautifully color-coded Notion workspace instead of actually doing the hard task. And the whole time, you soothe yourself with the comforting little lie that tomorrow will somehow magically be different.
And this gap inevitably builds into an absolutely agonizing daily loop. Think about it. You wake up in the morning with genuinely great intentions. You literally tell yourself, today is the day I start. But by midday, you decide to check your phone just for a second to look at one email. Next thing you know, you are 3 hours deep into a Wikipedia rabbit hole about the history of the stapler. By nightfall, you're lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling deeply guilty and totally disappointed in yourself. You wasted another day. So, what do? You promise yourself, again, that tomorrow will definitely be the day things change. But, spoiler alert, they don't.
All right, moving to section 1, your brain on comfort. Let's understand the psychological conflict inside you. So, here's the deal. This endless loop we just talked about, it isn't about you being a bad, weak, or unmotivated person. What's actually happening is a fierce psychological conflict taking place right inside your head. It's like a tug of war. On one side, you have your dreaming brain. It wants achievement, envisions a better future, and sets massive goals. But fighting against it is your survival brain. This part of your brain is ancient. It is designed to conserve energy, avoid discomfort, and seek immediate safety. When you think about working on your goals, your ambition sees that effort as the necessary path forward. But your survival instinct? It sees effort, uncertainty, and the possibility of failure as dangerous threats that literally must be avoided at all costs.
Which brings us to a really liberating truth. You aren't actually lazy. What you call laziness is literally just your brain's survival mode kicking in. It's actively protecting you from short-term discomfort by offering you a much easier option, like scrolling on your phone or watching just one more TV episode. And when you choose that distraction, your brain rewards you with a massive hit of dopamine. You feel better instantly. So your brain effectively learns that avoiding your goals feels good. Again, you aren't lazy. Your biology is simply choosing short-term safety over your long-term happiness.
Now, you might be thinking you just need more motivation, right? Like you're just waiting for the muse to strike. But remember this quote, motivation is a feeling. Feelings come and go. You cannot build a life on motivation. If you wait to feel motivated before you do hard work, you are going to be waiting forever. Motivation is incredibly fickle. Relying on those fleeting feelings is exactly why you are stuck perpetually waiting for the perfect moment to start.
That brings us to section 2, the perfectionism trap, unmasking your hidden fear of failure.
Let's unmask another hidden enemy that's trapping you in inaction. You know how you tell yourself you're just waiting to find the perfect software, or that you need to write the absolutely flawless 50-page business plan before you can officially begin? Well, the reality is that perfectionism is just fear disguised as excellence. It's a brilliant excuse your brain uses to ensure you never start. Because think about it, if you never start, you can never fail. It's a highly effective protective shield for your ego, guarding you from the terrifying possibility that you might actually try your absolute best and it still might not work out.
But here is the harsh reality. Failure is not the opposite of success. Inaction is. When you choose inaction, you learn absolutely nothing. You just stay safely tucked away in a little fantasy world where you are theoretically successful. But when you fail, you actually learn something tangible. You test your ideas in the real world, you gather invaluable data, and you build real momentum. Every single successful person you admire has failed wildly, and way more times than you have even tried. Let's jump into Section 3, Systems over Willpower, taking external control of your environment.
If we want to break this cycle, you have to stop relying on those internal feelings we just talked about and start taking rigorous external control. The big secret? Successful people do not have magically higher levels of willpower than you do. Relying on sheer willpower is a fundamental design problem. If your phone is sitting right next to you while you try to work, you are going to check it. Your survival brain will literally demand that dopamine. Instead, you need to create an environment where the default action is the productive action. You have to make it substantially harder to be distracted than it is to focus. The environmental changes you need to make are incredibly simple, but brutal. Put the phone in an entirely different room. Clean off your desk so there's absolutely nothing to fidget with. Protect your focused work time like it's a sacred appointment. Close the 50 unnecessary tabs open on your browser. And please, pay very close attention to this last one. Stop consuming endless self-help content. Watching 50 explainers about how to stop procrastinating feels like you're being productive, but it's really just your brain tricking you into a highly sophisticated form of procrastination. You don't need more information, you need to execute.
Okay, Section 4, Building the Discipline Muscle, Mastering Imperfect Action and Self-Compassion.
So how do we actually execute on this? You have to start incredibly small. Do not try to change your entire personality and schedule overnight. That's just your perfectionism talking again. Commit to working for just 15 minutes or writing a single paragraph, and accept, right here and now, that your first attempt will be absolutely terrible. It will be garbage, and that's exactly how it should be. Every masterpiece started as a deeply flawed rough draft. Right now, you are not trying to be great, you are just trying to teach your brain that sitting in discomfort is not inherently dangerous. Once you do that, simply show up again tomorrow.
Now, when you inevitably fall back into old patterns and skip a day, and listen, because you are human, it absolutely will happen, you must stop beating yourself up. Guilt does not motivate you. Shame does not make you better. Sitting in bed, deeply hating yourself for wasting a Tuesday only creates a massive spike in negative emotion. And what does your survival brain do when it feels negative emotion? It seeks immediate comfort, which pushes you right back to your phone, making the avoidance cycle even worse. You have to practice aggressive self-compassion. Forgive yourself quickly, and talk to yourself the exact same way you would encourage a good friend.
Going forward, I need you to remember one vital distinction. Lazy is not who you are. Lazy is simply what you have been doing. You are an individual with immense potential who just got temporarily stuck in a biological pattern of avoiding discomfort. But by understanding the psychology behind it, taking control of your physical environment, and actually forgiving yourself when you stumble, you have the exact tools you need to completely rewrite that pattern.
So I want to leave you with this final, urgent challenge. You know the psychology now. You know the systems. You know that ambition without action is just a beautifully constructed fantasy. So, will you stop planning your life and actually start living it? Will you close this explainer right now, put your phone in another room, and go do just one small, imperfect thing that moves you forward? Don't wait until you feel ready. Start right now.